Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the Authortube Newbie Tag, and I find this kind of funny because this should have been my first video. My first video on this channel was a writer's life tag, and you know what, honestly, when I first started making these videos, I didn't even know what Authortube was until very recently, so that is why I'm doing it today. So I believe this tag was created by Jenna the Dark One, and if you know what this tag is, you probably know who she is, but either way, I'll put her down in the description because she is honestly one of my favorite Authortubers, and yeah. Just figured you guys could do it too if you haven't done it. So it's gonna be my goal to not make these intros like 55 minutes long, so we're just gonna jump right into it. The first question is, how did you find out about Authortube? To be honest with you guys, when I first started making these videos, I was watching related content, so like I just fell into a rabbit hole, and I just found people, you know, talking about this, and then I found Lily Mead on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure you guys know who she is too, because she kind of was one of the founders of this community, the Authortube community. So that's kind of how I found out about Authortube. It was just really just like doing research and looking at a bunch of videos and getting inspired. So question number 2 is, what genres do you write in? Right now, I'm kind of having a crisis because I don't really know what genres I write in. I kind of just want to write whatever appeals to me. But honestly, recently I've been writing a lot of realism and a lot of new adult fiction. So I guess that's kind of what I would be falling into for the moment. But like I said, I am not really like, you know, I'm kind of exploring my horizons in the writing community right now. So I'm not really sure if I'm just a new adult fiction writer or if I'm something else. Like, I also have an interest in writing horror and, you know, mystery and all of that. So one day, you never know. So the third question is, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category of story? So my preferred writing tense is the past tense, and my point of view is third person limited. That's kind of like one of my favorite points of view to write from. And like I kind of said this in the last question, my preferred category is probably new adult fiction for now. The fourth question is, are you a plotter, pantser, or planster? And I kind of answered this in my first tag, and if you guys haven't seen it, I'll link it down below so you guys can go check it out. But I said I'm a planster, and I guess by that I mean I really like to plot and kind of just write as I go. So I'm actually kind of like a planster, and I kind of wish I was a plotter because I feel like I personally would be more productive if I was. I feel like sometimes when I get the story idea, instead of putting it into a structure, I just kind of write out whatever is in my head. And most of the times these scenes just play like, you know, like as a movie in my head. So I'm literally writing down anything I can capture, like, you know, visually or, you know, mentally see. But sometimes I wish I was a plotter, because if I was a plotter, maybe that whole process would be a little smoother. I don't know. The fifth question is, are you self-published, published, or yet to be published? I'm definitely yet to be published. Like, I haven't even finished one of my novels yet. I don't even know when that'll be even in the works of being published, but yeah, I'm definitely not published. So since I'm not published yet, I'm gonna just tell you guys what my dream publishing company would be, and mine is definitely Simon & Schuster. If I could ever be published by them, oh my god, all of my dreams will come true. Like, that is definitely the goal, because I love any type of novel that they, you know, publish. They're just incredible. Some of my favorite authors were published through that publishing service. So that is kind of like my dream. So the seventh question is, what Authortube related videos can you guys expect to see on my channel? So I'm really into making how-to videos, and I don't mean like how to write your novel. And if you guys want to see that, I'll totally do that. But like, I like working on things like prose and character development and giving my tips and tricks on how to overcome certain, you know, insecurities of writing and just things like that. And sometimes there will be even like book reviews or just, you know, kind of personal things. And in my, you know, life, personal is kind of just what I'm reading, because let's be honest, I don't really have a life, so most of my life is reading and writing. So sometimes you might see some, you know, book hauls. That's not going to be very often because I wouldn't consider myself a booktuber, but you never know. It's just basically going to be around the whole idea of writing and what I find helpful and just some tips that I have. So the eighth question is, when did you start writing? So I'm gonna just tell you guys when I first initially started writing, and that was when I was 6. I was really young. So the ninth question is, what was the first story you've ever wrote? So the first story that I ever wrote was actually when I was about 6 years old when I started writing, and it was for a school contest. We got like a little prize if we won, and it was just like a creative short story. My story was about a kid. It was so cliche, but I was a little kid, okay? So my story was about a kid who was helping his parents, or her parents, I think it was a girl, her parents clean up their their attic, help clean up their attic, and she finds a box that they've never seen before, and she opens the box and there are books in the box, and I guess her mom I guess, and in my story, I made it seem like her mom didn't know about the books, but she also played it off like she did, so she was like, okay, go ahead, you could read them, whatever. And so the little girl takes the books to her room, and she's reading the books, but the second she opens up certain books, she dives into those books, and she's into that scene and whatever the book's taking place, and she's into that, you know, that whole world. And that's basically what the story is about. Like, she's just traveling throughout history and throughout different times and different universes, and she's little and she's exploring and stuff. I'm pretty sure I probably ripped that off from somewhere, but I was 6 years old and I was loving my story. Also, if you guys are curious, I won that contest. So my 10th question is, what authors have inspired your writing the most? And this is a really hard question to answer because there has been so many. You're gonna have to kind of narrow it down to what point in my life, because that's kind of like, I have an author for basically every bit of my motivation throughout my, you know, past. So for example, in high school, one of my biggest inspirations was Toni Morrison. I love her to death. She's definitely up there with one of my favorite writers. I really just loved how she captured the audience's attention and how she like put light on these really serious issues in such a beautifully written way. That's something that, you know, one day I wish I could accomplish. Like, that's just incredible to me. If you guys ask me right now who my writing inspiration is, it's definitely going to be Caroline Kepnes. She's the author of You and the author of Hidden Body. I think her writing is incredible, and I love her first person narration. I feel like Joe Goldberg is such a great character, and she really knows him, and I think that's why she inspires me, because she really knows how to capture her characters and their voice. I always have a hard time writing first person, and I feel like when I read her book, she really helps me kind of, you know, get into that first person stage. Especially since right now, one of my novels is currently going to be in first person, so I feel like it's really beneficial to kind of practice that skill, and she's the author for that, honestly. If you guys haven't read any of her books, I definitely recommend it. So the 11th question is, do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you have time? I get to writing whenever I have time. I'm not gonna lie, yes, it is summer, so I do have quite more free time than I did, you know, during the school year. However, I do have a job, and the job's kind of draining. So it's like, as much as I would love to write 24/7, it's not really realistic for me. So I kind of just write whenever I get the inspiration to. And that's mostly, you know, either late at night or early in the morning, but I never really schedule my writing, because I know personally I can't keep track of it. And if I can't keep track of it, then I kind of get overwhelmed, and it's just a bad situation. Okay, so mostly I type my work. I type anything I write. However, I do have a writer's binder, which I was actually thinking about making a video on, but I have a writer's binder where I put, you know, a lot of different like little snippets of things that I think fit for my characters, little plot points. It's also kind of just a place where I brainstorm when I'm away from my laptop, or when I just feel like having it out written in pen. But for the most part, I type up my notes and I type up my story. And that's just kind of like a little extra add-on to just kind of get my head together and just know that it's in two places, just in case if I ever lose anything. Now the 13th question is, what are you looking most forward to now that you're a part of Authortube? And honestly, I think it's just kind of, you know, getting into the community and meeting people and making friends and just kind of discussing my love for writing with other people, because honestly I've never been in a community where I've had, you know, so much support and been around people that like writing as much as I do, and I just love to be here and I love to make content, so that's what I'm most looking forward to, just continuously making content. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys did, please leave me a comment down below introducing yourself, because I want to meet all of you guys, and yeah, why not? Let's talk. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's 3 times a week, and I would love for you guys to be a part of my community. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.